So I'm going to talk about how products become memorable. And in my opinion, products become memorable when we want to experience them often. So what even qualifies me to talk about this? Well, so I'm a designer who obsesses about products. I obsess about the experiences of these products. So when I actually interact with a product, I think, why is it such an experience? Is this experience better than what it was before? And can it be even better? So you may ask why. Well, the reason why I'm interested in this is because we all do experience. We either create experiences or are part of experiences that others create. And so as soon as we get up from bed throughout the day, we actually interact with a range of products. And they experience from, hey, this is a great experience, to the downright bad. I really don't like it. So, so what is it that separates them? There is a gulf between the experiences that are really great and the ones that are merely pedestrian. And I believe the ones that are really great follow a series of principles. And a lot of people have principles. And I'll just list a few of my principles. And they are by no means exhaustive list. So I hope you guys can read it, but I'll say it in any case. Be innovative by being iterative. Good design is as little design as possible. User over technology. Attention to detail. And it's supposed to be reduce complexity. Now, all flowery language, obviously. So what I will do is actually go through my day, list a series of experiences, and show how some of these principles apply to them. Be innovative by being iterative. So I usually get up around 6:30 in the morning, and like most of you, I'm very inquisitive about what has happened in the world. And with my daily cup of tea or coffee, I used to reach out to a newspaper. But over the last year or so, I saw my newspaper stack up like that. And the reason was because I used to get my news from other sources, the internet, the TV, and the news I really cared about from my friends. So what I did, I canceled my subscription. And I really don't miss it. And I realize I'm not the majority yet. I also understand that actually in India, newspaper readership is actually growing. But elsewhere, everywhere in the world, newspaper readership is actually plummeting. And this is part of an emerging trend as technology penetration increases. And I bet it's going to increase in India as well. So along with my daily dose of news and cup of tea, I like listening to music, a lot of music. And if you'd asked me about 15 years ago, which company do you associate with music, I would have said Sony, with the Walkman and the boom boxes and all. But if you ask me now, it is this, the Apple iPod. So what happened to the Sonys and the newspaper industry? So let me tell you some of my thoughts on that. They're usually first to market. The newspaper industry actually figured out how to get the news to the common man. And then Sony invented the first portable media player. They got mind share as innovators, no question about that. They built market share. But then, they got comfortable. They were afraid to cannibalize their own, either the newspaper industry itself, the newspapers, the market share that they built, or their Sony Walkmans. They only wanted to do incremental features. They didn't want to innovate by iterating. And I believe a great example of companies that actually innovate by iterating are the fast-moving consumer goods companies. They are the people who make your toothbrushes, toothpaste, the shampoos, even your coffee packets. And I believe the sachet packet, incredible innovation. And it's only after iterating on a number of different things, like the distribution mechanism, what is the correct price, did they even come up with this. So be innovative by being iterative. Good design is as little design as possible. So around 8 o'clock, after getting ready, I go to work in my car. And I love automobiles. They have come up with some of the most fascinating innovations in the last 50 years. Take, for instance, this. This is the steering wheel, as you all know. The ones from 20 years ago, you actually had to rotate it about 2 or 3 times before the car even started responding. Cut to today, you have the power steering. Little movement, immediate response. This is the manual gear shift. The one you have to actually press your clutch, and change your gear when the speeds of the car go up and down. Well, today in these days of crazy traffic, bad roads, I prefer the automatic. I got one, and I'm really happy with it. So the automatic transmission, as well as the steering, power steering, 2 of the most complex engineering feats in automobiles. And yet, no relearning required by the driver at all. Such innovations and such products that require little to no redesign make for great experiences. Good design is as little design as possible. User over technology. So I get into work, spend about 10 hours. That's more than half my waking hours I spend interacting with software and hardware and all of that stuff. And I'm really glad I'm not in this era where about a million users, that's it. Mostly scientists, tinker with technology using the command line interface. I'm really glad I'm here. We're about 1 billion users. That's a huge number, isn't it? 1 billion users get access to significant benefits using the graphical user interface. And hopefully, over the next few years, the next 1 billion users will gain even more significant benefits using natural user interfaces like touch, voice, and gesture. I think the ATM is a great example. Incredible piece of technology, and it does one task really well, dispensing money. Even the illiterates can use it, no question. Another example, the internet. Till the 80s, mostly used by academicians and defense. And if you had asked at that point in the 80s, where do you see the internet going at that point in time? You would have probably said, some scientists may be using it in 20 years' time. But the browser changed it all. 2 concepts, in my opinion, just 2 concepts. They said, let's get the user to the content really easily. So let's have a home page and an address bar. And the second concept being, don't let the user get lost. So they had a big home page button and a back button to take back the user to where they came from. So again, in that set of examples, user over technology. Attention to detail. I get home, I like to unwind usually. And the other day I was actually seeing this movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's one of those movies where you have live action figures actually interacting with cartoon characters. Incredible movie. Amazing attention to detail. In fact, this is one of the memos the film director actually sent to all the animators. They talk about the eye level. The idea is, even if for 2 or 3 frames, if the eye level between the animated character and the live action figure goes off, the entire illusion is lost. The entire illusion is lost. 2 or 3 frames. At least 24 frames every second, 60 seconds to a minute, and it's about 100 minutes long. That's a lot of frames. And even the hardest critic will find it hard to find any flaw in this movie. Incredible attention to detail. Another movie, once the slide goes, is Avatar. I'm probably the only person in this auditorium who has not seen this, but I've seen a large number of outtakes. And while the acting and the plot are supposed to be good, I think it's the attention to detail that steals the show. They have this entire new planet where they concentrate on the flora and the fauna. Again, attention to detail. No wonder it's the largest grossing movie. And then, reduce complexity. This is my kid, all of 15 months. As you see, he has a remote in his hand. And he loves throwing the remote. And he likes me to play fetch. So I'm trying to figure out ways already as to how to channelize energy. He'll, of course, play cricket. But then, like I said, I'm going digital. And the game console industry is kind of interesting. But till about 3 years ago, I wouldn't have considered a game console. Because they had this, it was intimidating. They had this bewildering array of buttons that I was like, I wouldn't have bought it for a minute till the Wii came along. I went and got it. wow, what an amazing piece of equipment. They were targeting the people who were indifferent to gaming, and they cut across age, sex, location. In fact, even the cat can play it. As you can see, there is the Wii controller. But I believe that we can do even better and reduce complexity even more. I'm sure some of you may have seen this, but it's still interesting to watch in this.
So, you've come back for more, Ian.
Yep, let's do it.
This should be good. Let's begin.
Great, Sarah.
Hey, so did you get a dress for the party yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's in a week. Here, you have to see the one I found for you. That's the one.
I love it.
You should get it. See you tonight.
So I'm going to get this because I won't have to play fetch anymore with my kid. So just to recap, products become memorable when we want to experience them often. And we would want our users to experience them often by having them go through the principles. And the reason we would want them to have great products is because we all do experience. Thank you.
There is this perception. I like the fact that you mentioned the design aspect of a 1 rupee sachet of coffee, right? There is this perception that design is more useful only for glamorous products or for high technology products. But is there a need for good design in everyday, bottom of the pyramid products which are used by all of us?
Well, absolutely. In my opinion, as I said, like any product that you interact is an experience. And all those experiences need to be designed because some set of users are going through it. So I would imagine that 300 million people who are at the bottom of the pyramid are having some experience. So they also need to, I believe that they're also worthy of being designed to. So absolutely.
Thank you so much.